Okay, what's up? Now, this is another video, and I wasn't kind of planning to do it. I'm really putting myself through the grindstone because I've got a really bad hangover. But I noticed a video that Football Fan had put up talking about Strikeforce blowing it again. And I can't help but agree with a lot of what he has said about Strikeforce and the way they promote. And I think it's something that I've been saying and a lot of people have been saying about Strikeforce. The way they promote cards, they have great fighters, but I don't feel that they promote them effectively enough, and I don't think they know how to generate interest. Um, this is going to sound very interesting to say it now, but I think one of the problems is that they listen to a particular type of internet MMA fan. Just put this fight together. Just put this fight together. Maybe that's part of it, but the last maybe 4 or 5 cards that they've had to me have been questionable about how they've promoted them. Okay, here's an example. Shinya Aoki and Gilbert Melendez fought on the CBS card, and that is the light heavyweight champion of one promotion versus the lightweight champion of one promotion versus the lightweight champion of another promotion. Now, in theory, that sounds like a great fight, and in a lot of ways that is. The problem was that that wasn't promoted effectively enough, in my opinion. Most of us die-hard MMA guys in the MMA core will know who Shinya Aoki is. But to the rest of the outside world, they won't know who he is. And I don't think they even told us why this fight is significant. At the timing of that fight, BJ Penn had just lost to Frankie Edgar the first time. The number one spot at 155 is kind of up in the open. And it's a champion of one show versus the champion of the other brand. Sorry, oh god, this is embarrassing. And to me, that's a very significant fight, and they didn't even explain that. They didn't even let fans know who Aoki was. It's, oh, here's Shinya Aoki, he's the dream champion. We expect you to know who he is. And in a way, it kind of did those two guys a disservice. I know it's a questionable thing to say, but in a way, they should have shown that footage of Aoki breaking that guy's arm and giving the guy the finger. It may have generated a bit more interest in the fight. Um, then some of their other cards. I think the only card to me that they promoted effectively enough was the Diaz and Shamrock card last year, and that was really based on the fact that Diaz and Shamrock know how to self-promote. And then the other fight was the Fedor Brett Rogers card, where they seemed to promote that and they gave it a Fight Camp 360. Since then, though, they haven't really done anything. Um, Scott Smith and Kung Lee, that rematch should have been promoted. They should have really promoted that match. That was a great fight, and it had a dramatic ending. And it's just like, oh well, here's the rematch. There you go. Um, I'm trying to think of another fight. King Mo's recent fight. In fact, the last card, King Mo and Fei Zhao, their fight. They didn't do anything to tell you who Fei Zhao was. If I'm saying it right, forgive me. I'm really hungover right now. I've had about 20. No, that's an exaggeration. I've had about like 15 Guinnesses. Um, they didn't even let anybody know who Fei Zhao was. Uh, and it was just like another fight that just happened to happen there. The same thing with the Lashley and Chad Griggs fight. They put a lot of time. There's a lot of time and money in Bobby Lashley. They put no time in Chad Griggs at all. It's just Bobby Lashley versus Chad Griggs, and Chad Griggs beat him. And they should have promoted him a little bit more. They should have promoted him a lot heavier, so that way they get a win-win situation. A lot of people are very critical of the way the UFC run their business, but they understand that they are a business and that they need to generate interest in their business. And they do a very, very effective job of doing that. They get their fighters out there, they're very media savvy. They know how to use all the media outlets to generate interest for their fights. Even on their websites, they put the countdown shows on. Why are Strikeforce not doing any of that? It's interesting. Another thing is, and someone brought this up too, was Vince McMahon. Now, a lot of MMA people, diehard MMA people, are going to want to kill me for saying this, but in his prime, Vince McMahon was probably one of the greatest promoters of all time. Uh, he knew how to sell you a show like that. And Tuesday said this. Vince McMahon understood that you have to have a little bit of everything on your card. You need to promote it a certain way, and you need to give the sizzle as well as providing the steak. That is something Strikeforce are really missing the boat on. They have this potential fight with Nick Diaz and Jason Miller, and for some reason that fight is not happening. And there's so many tools that they can play with. All right, yeah, it might come off a little pro wrestling esque, but it works. It's worked for the UFC when they did it with Tito and Ken. It worked for the UFC when they did it with Tito and Chuck. They have the same amount of potential with this Diaz and Miller fight, considering Diaz has been on an absolute tear. Miller has his celebrity status from the MTV show. People know who he is. You had that Strikeforce brawl, which was unfortunate, but you can kind of turn that negative into a positive, promote a big fight, and generate interest in your card. And they just won't do that. I don't know, it's really baffling. Anyways, I'm going to kind of stop right here, right now, and let me know what you think. Take care.